Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining me today in the moment with Mike. And our core values, love stating those, love working with those: accountability, teamwork, deliver more, and fun. And teamwork will be the topic today, as well as what our company goals are and how we track towards them. But obviously, many of you have heard, if not everybody watching this, about yellow van lines, yellow truck lines going out of business. And they didn't have good teamwork. It basically because of the unions and they couldn't come together, which is kind of blows my mind because I'm pretty sure that was the bulk of their employees. Nonetheless, couldn't come together, didn't work as a team, and the company is no longer in business. And when I think about teamwork and when I talk about teamwork around the office or when I'm speaking to drivers at all times, I can just think of, it has to flow up and it has to flow down. Because we're working as a team, like, well, what are the good things going on? What can I tell Mike about, or my driver manager, Chris or Cody? What info goes up to the load planners? And also, what info goes down? Like, hey, guys, this is what we need to do. Working as a team doesn't mean everything's harmonious and we're going to pick up the slack for the other person. But if you ask me to help you as your teammate, I feel obligated to help you. It doesn't matter what the job is. And for the most part, it really doesn't matter what the ask is if it's within the confines of Great Plains Transport. So just be curious. Think about the problem solving you can do on a simple level, just on the phone with the load planners or the drivers if you're talking to, the docks as you're calling in to see if you can maybe get unloaded a little bit earlier, maybe getting some specific directions. Like, how can we be curious and how can we be creative with all of that? The next piece would be I want to talk about tracking and goals. And we did put out a tracker that we're going to send out every day that sends out the total miles for the day as well as how we're tracking for the month. And I know the revenue goal is mostly out of everybody's control. Our sales guys and the rates that we choose will determine that. But what is within our control is the specific routes that we take, how efficient we can be, as the drivers out there, but also inside the office. Are we planning you guys correctly? If we're going to send you info, if we're going to tell you what to do and how we want it done, then we better make sure that we have our ducks in a row. And again, if I can segue back to teamwork real quick, that's where the back and forth comes up. It doesn't matter who you're talking to, who you're working with. You're not going to offend anybody here. And if you do, it's business. We're here to work together. Sometimes you're going to push your teammates, sometimes you're not. But the key to that is that we're working together. So again, as I segue back over to tracking and over to our goals, the goal of the month is $4 million in revenue, which we're going to show you. But also, most importantly, for all my drivers watching out there, it is going to be 2 million miles for the month. And if you think about it, that's about 65,000 miles per day. And Tyler and I broke this down prior to this video. And the mantra I want to leave you guys with, and I'll finally be quiet, is what can I do for 250 more miles today, right? The office staff, what can you do to get Paul Bangus 251 miles today, or Kevin Hillenbrand? What can we do to help them? And then guys, what can you do to help us so you attain that? That's teamwork, that's working together. Thank you for your moment with Mike.